Sandeep sir, namaste. Good afternoon, sir.
Namaskar, madam.
Namaste.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, sir. Thank you. Sir, would you
Very
like to
nice.
present and see whether it's working fine or not?
Yeah, let me share it
I'll stop
with you
sharing
right now.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll share screen
Mm-hmm.
and I go to, I think, window,
Yes.
and that should be my presentation copy. Take it to the top,
Yes, sir.
first slide.
Yes, sir.
I make it full
Present.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute. Has it gone full screen?
No, sir.
It full screen, is it? I have made it full screen from my side.
Okay, but here it is like
Sure, not
it is
showing.
a PPT itself. Maybe it will take some time.
Oh, maybe it'll take some time. Yes, because I'm outside somewhere.
Okay.
Is it now? Can you tell
Sir, your voice is not audible properly, sir.
you able to hear me now?
Sir, your voice is
Are you
breaking,
able
sir.
to hear me now? Voice is breaking.
Yeah, it's not clear, sir.
For me. Okay. Um, can launch picture, watch your meeting. No, I don't want to do that. No picture in picture mode. Are you able to hear me, Dharini madam?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to hear
Yes, sir.
me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me try sharing it again.
Mm.
I'll try share entire screen. Let me try if it works. But within that, I'll have to then go for entire screen does not allow me to. mm, Does it make the PPT full now?
Sir, you haven't presented yet, sir.
Not presented.
Not present. Not present.
That's a challenge. Okay, share. I'm doing share now.
Yes, sir.
Can launch picture by watching your meeting in a floating window. You navigate between.
You can accept
It
it
is
or
giving me an option, maybe
yeah, yeah. It is like side
picture and
picture
picture.
and the PPT. Yeah.
Okay, launch picture in picture mode to watch your meeting floating window while you navigate between different apps. Shall I say launch? It's
Yeah,
something
you can or you can
new
cancel.
which
Both
I'm
ways
seeing.
is fine.
It's better. Okay. If that doesn't work, let's just start something different then. What I do is in that case, I lose some functionality. I'll do
Mm.
the Windows only.
Okay.
Okay, Windows
Yeah, sure,
only,
sir. Sure, sir.
and with Windows only, this will come. I'll reduce it as much as I can. All right.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
the screen comes full.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
The screen is full now. All right. And most of the things you'll be able to. Now I'm moving the slide. Are you able to see the slide movement?
Sir, actually, the PPT is getting presented now to me. It is yet to, no picture, nothing is seen. It is just blank, but it says that you are presenting something.
Okay, let's see. Mhm. Now, are you able to see?
No, sir.
I'm surprised.
Uh,
Earlier you were seeing my PPT? Earlier you were
no,
seeing
sir. I'm not able to see your PPT, sir.
I have stopped sharing it again.
Mm.
It's again coming to that picture, and I'll just say pick that picture launch mode. I'll say now. Okay,
Okay.
I'll use it
Yeah, yeah.
now. Share screen.
Mm.
Maybe it had some issues. So I'll just do window now. And now,
Mhm. I think it is taking some time because might be the internet is slow or something like that.
I'm on a 5G connectivity. I sometimes do my events from here. I never had an issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So visibility of what we call the PPT.
No, sir, I'm not able to see.
Mhm. That's going to be pretty
It's quite strange
difficult.
actually, the way it is happening.
Picture in picture launch also now.
Mm.
And with that, when I do share, earlier you were able to see my PPT, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the
When
first time
we
I was
started.
able to see your PPT, sir. Yeah.
So I'll break it now.
Mm.
I'll try to re-log in. All right.
Yeah, yeah, that
I'll
would
try.
be better, sir. We will
Yeah,
try,
I'm
sir,
making.
or otherwise you can share the PPT with me so that if it's possible from my side to present.
Okay, I'll do
The
both.
worst case, yeah.
Harini, what is your email address?
Dharani at cesedu.org.
Okay. Okay. I'll just try to do something. I'll
Yes, sir.
forward the
Yes.
mail to you.
Yes, sir.
Leave. Harini, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I've emailed you my presentations. In worst case, you can launch
Yes,
it.
sir. I'll download it and keep. Yeah, if it's not possible there.
Yeah. But please don't circulate it to
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah, sure, sir. Not without your permission, sir.
Yeah, please. Let me also try again. If I can do it, nothing
Yes,
like it. Okay.
yes, yes.
Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Sir, it shows you're presenting, but it is a blank screen. I mean, it is showing like something like black screen, blank it is. That's why. So let me try, sir.
Should
Then
come.
yeah, it should have
No,
come
no,
actually.
just wait for a minute. Wait for a minute. Mm,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We shall, sir.
Still no sign of.
Mm.
Okay, no problems. You share it.
I'll try presenting,
See,
sir. Yeah.
this will be better.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You will try it, present it.
Sir, are you able to see, sir?
Not. Yes, now I'm able to see it. Yes.
Okay. Did it go to presentation mode? Slide mode?
Let it go.
Yeah. I think it is.
Yes.
Okay. Is it visible, sir?
Uh, just move the slides.
I'm on the first slide, leaving aside the title slide.
No, it
It
has
is
not moved.
points.
It has
Okay.
not moved. For me, it has not.
Okay. Now, sir,
No, not yet.
I think this is one issue with Zoho where presentation is a challenge. I don't know.
What we'll do is
Hmm.
I'll open my presentation here once we start it.
Okay.
All right. Uh,
Okay.
so I can speak from that,
Hmm.
and you share the things to others. Hope now the has come.
Yes, come,
Both
sir.
has come.
Okay.
So you go to first slide.
Yeah.
And can you
I'm
make it
on the.
full screen?
Yeah, one second. I've made it full screen, sir.
Okay. How do I make it full screen for myself? I'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fine. I'll keep doing it, and I'll keep telling you to move the slides. Then, all right.
Sure. Okay, sir. Okay.
Good. Good. Something is you can inside of the whole thing can be shortened by you if you so like. The if you see the full screen or whatever.
Okay.
Uh, if you are on full screen mode, fine. If not, then you can
Mm.
shorten the left hand side. The
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir.
yeah,
As of
yeah,
now, I've stopped sharing it. So
I got
once
it.
you start your presentation, I will just share the screen.
Okay. Zoho people were our neighbors when I
Okay.
was the vice
No,
chancellor of
actually,
academy.
after we purchased Zoho, I had written a mail also complaining about this issue to them. Like presentation is one thing, and I don't know the reason.
Yeah, some of them have issues. I've seen it, but
Yeah,
easiest is the Google's own Google Meet. I find.
Google Meet and even Zoom also, so very friendly.
Yeah, Zoom has gone into some nitty gritty of more involved things now, but
Yeah.
still good. But Google Meet is damn easy.
So we shall begin the session in another few minutes, sir.
Sure.
Not 3 minutes. Yes. Sir, shall we begin, sir?
Please go
Yes,
ahead.
thank you so much. Yeah. Namaste and a very good evening to all of you. A hearty welcome to our beloved speaker, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, for today's national webinar on strategic role of education in achieving Vision Viksit Bharat at 2047 under our CESS Talk series. So let us begin the session by offering our humble pranams to the Almighty. Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Thank you. So I just want to give a brief introduction about our CESS Talk series. When it comes to the CESS Talk series, CESS has always been engaging with the stakeholders of education, such as policymakers, universities, schools, colleges, academicians, researchers, teachers, etc., to realize its vision of social transformation through and with education. So in this endeavor, CESS Talk series is one such initiative to draw the attention of the stakeholders and the education fraternity on various trending topics and issues in the education sector through talks from the experts. So today's CESS Talk is on strategic role of education in achieving Vision Viksit Bharat at 2047. Vision Viksit Bharat embodies the aspiration of transforming India into a developed and globally influential nation by its centenary of independence. At the heart of this vision lies education, a powerful catalyst for socio-economic advancement. In this context, to provide insights into the strategic role that education can play in achieving this vision, today we have with us Professor Sandeep Sancheti, Vice President of Research Relations and Academic Affairs at Elsevier, India. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Professor Sancheti is an institution builder, policy planner, regular columnist on various academic policies. He has held key roles in esteemed professional bodies like FICCI, CII, NAC, DST, CSIR, DRDO, and many others, contributing significantly to education, research, and policy. As a member of IISc, Bangalore's Court and Council, and various academic boards, he has also served on national committees of MHRD or Ministry of Education, UGC, and AICTE. Additionally, he has represented India in international delegations and addressed members of parliament on critical educational issues. Formerly, Dr. Sancheti headed 7 NITs, including NIT Surathkal, NIT Tirchi, NIT Calicut, NIT Delhi, and SPA Delhi, as director. He has also led self-financed institutions like Manipal University, Jaipur, as president, RM Chennai as vice chancellor, and Marwadi University, Rajkot, as provost. He is a recipient of the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship under Colombo Plan and was a visiting faculty at Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok. He is the past president of the Association of Indian Universities, New Delhi, and the former executive council member of the Association of Commonwealth Universities, London. A warm welcome to you, sir, and the session is over to you. Sir, I'll present it now, your PPT.
Sure, please do so. And in certain cases, you will have to do multiple strokes because there might be a little bit of animation one point after another. So
Okay.
please don't mind it.
Sure,
And
sir. No
okay,
problems.
so
No problem.
okay.
Yeah, sure,
Good
sir.
evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today to talk about the important aspects of strategic role of education in achieving what we are dreaming, what we are working for as Viksit Bharat at the rate of 2047, around 24, 25 years from now, during the centenary year independence. I'm very thankful to Madam Dharini for this kind introduction as well as the invitation. Also, thanks to the Center for Educational and Social Studies, particularly Professor M. Sridhar Saab for this kind invitation. I'm honored and I'm very much interested to share my views on the topic of Viksit Bharat 2047. Friends, there are a large number of things which entails what we call Viksit Bharat. Obviously, it won't be possible for us to cover many things, but we know that education plays a pivotal role in doing so, and therefore we'll talk about certain points which are related to education. Time right now is 10 past 4. I'll probably try to take you for this presentation, which is slightly detailed, I would say, for another 50 minutes or so, maybe 55 minutes, and then we will leave some time for Q&A, and I'm sure you'll have some of your own ideas which you'd like to share or raise questions on some of the ideas which I might share. So with this as a backdrop, I'd like to make a presentation to all of you. May I request, madam, to move the slide, the next slide, please. I'm unable to see the first slide right now, madam, but I hope this slide will come. Yes. So these are some of the points that I said to you, that there are quite a few things which we really need to discuss. I'll start with a small introduction, and then I'll say that why educational changes are important and how it will help Viksit Bharat. Then also the NEP and its relevance partly, and then what changes and what things can drive what we call the development, academics, research, and through technology in education is what I'm going to talk about. And as an example, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI in education. And then finally, a little bit on what might bring more value to our development is the internationalization and industry institute interaction. And then certain things on in terms of keeping our focus on sustainable development goals. And then, of course, evaluating some of our work. Whenever we are talking of a strategy, I think the evaluation, outcomes, impact, feedback, all are becoming very important. And then I'd like to conclude. So let's move to the next slide, madam. So the next
So,
slide talks about the various aspects of what you call the development, and these might be what you call the social, the economic development, or the vikas, which we are talking about, where it is in terms of what you call. Are you able to move the slide now?
sir, I'm moving the slide, but I don't know like whether you are able to see it, sir. I'm a bit confused with
Not
it.
able to see the third slide right now. Don't worry. I can
Mhm.
speak from my slides, but the audience should be able to see it. That's more important. Can you check with the audience whether they're able to see
Yeah,
third
sure,
slide
sir,
now?
sure, sir.
Yeah, just check with the audience, participants. Yeah, keep moving like this. Yes, it's now coming. Keep moving like this. Maybe it's not moving in a normal mode for you.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your cursor on this only. Uh, of Viksit Bharat, then the Vikas or anything can be understood in terms of socially developed or industrially developed or economically developed, technologically developed, environmentally or medically or health-wise or literacy or educationally, geographically, politically. I can keep on adding whether it's the financial things which can also be directly driven, or maybe some religious and spiritual thing can also be added. Some of them have an overlap, does not matter, but these are the elements of Viksit Bharat typically, and we should try to address all of them. I'm not going to go much into details of that. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, madam.
I have, sir, but
Okay.
I think it will take some time.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah. That's uh, move from the left hand side only. I think that would be a faster movement. Don't move with the cursor. Just click on the slide, left hand side.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, just click on the slide itself. Yes, that's faster. All right. Keep clicking
Yes,
there only when you move slides.
sure, sir.
So I'm now coming to that how to achieve that strategy or how to achieve that development. And my one answer, simple answer to that is through education. And when I say education, I simply say education is generally one pill for all else. Whether I want to improve my, let's say, the the health and health awareness, or whether I want to reduce poverty or hunger, or whether I'm here to deal with the challenges of water and environment. I think if I'm educated, the chances are that I'll be able to implement better schemes, understand them, and then use them for our own favor. So education can be one pill for all else is my take, and therefore we are going to talk about education. And education's role should be that of constant and controlled changes. That means it should keep changing things incrementally, and also adding value while maintaining some sort of a continuity also. It should not give shock, but it should be for good. And that is what I mean here, that a strategic role should be that of constant and controlled change. Anything which becomes stagnant possibly will not yield good results in long run and will probably cease to exist also. And hence one can say that education should play a role of what you call catalyst in the changes which should come about in the society as a whole. Next slide, please. Yeah, just keep, yeah, yes, that's a better one. So here I'm giving you a food for thought, I would say. What might be the strategic educational changes? If you see the first 2 points, these are generic, these are not educational. So one change which we know is, earlier we used to say that if you only focus on playing and sports, you may not do very well. In Hindi, there was a saying, "Padhoge likhoge, banoge nawab, kheloge kudoge, banoge kharab." But that's not necessarily true. Same way, we know that a mother gives birth to a child, but then the reverse is also true. When a child is born, a lady is called mother. And therefore, there are different views which one can talk about. The same thing applies to the education space also. That when I teach my course, am I covering the syllabus or am I uncovering the syllabus? I think the approach should be of uncovering. By uncovering, I mean that why am I teaching this course? How is it going to be used in your future? How is it related to your past and something else? What might be the potential application? So uncover the course rather, or syllabus, rather than cover the syllabus. Similarly, are we making teachers to teach courses which have been decided, or are we having courses which teachers can teach? I think it's again a food for thought. These are all what I call 180-degree shifts in the thinking and thought processes, and these are essential if we want to do development. Otherwise, we'll remain stereotyped, will not be able to change much. Unfortunately, education space has not changed much for whatever reason. In the same vein, if I can go, you can see exams used to be very, very secret and closed ended, but it has to be open because life is an open ended examination. And therefore, once again, we have to prepare students for that. Use of technology, till Corona times, we were restricting like anything. We didn't allow mobiles to be in the classrooms, devices, etc. But today we beg that you can bring your devices. Once again, earlier the education used to be once in a lifetime, maybe around 22, 23, 25, you will finish and serve till 65. But now it is going to be lifelong. So once again, there is a complete shift in thought process when it comes to education, that you need to change yourself. You cannot remain in the same stereotype mold which were there earlier. In the same way, the universities will have to change. Otherwise, they will also cease to exist. Certificates or degrees may have the same value depending upon in what context you are considering them and who is considering them. So there can be reciprocity between a certificate becoming more valuable than degrees and vice versa, depending upon the nature of work which is there. So these are the strategic changes which are going to be required in our mindset, in our thought processes, in our actions and functions. Next slide, please. Friends, I'm going to now tell you one more important thing on the education, and that is that as a teacher, and I presume many of you might be teachers, including myself. And if you see the first 2 points in black and red, you probably see that these are the two major functions which we used to do. Assimilation of information means we accumulate, collect, by reading and studying, and disseminate by delivering, sharing, and maybe in the form of teaching, writing, demonstrating, and all that. But I think the most important strategic change which we need now in Indian higher education, particularly, is the generation, the research, the innovation, and that will come through collaboration, publish, patenting, sharing, technology transfers, and whatnot. So this is a major change as far as the strategy is concerned, that research should be embedded at almost all stages in our life. When I'm eating food in the restaurant, I do research which food to take. When I'm buying clothes, when I'm buying car, when I'm buying house, I'm doing enough research these days before I attempt it. And therefore, you can say that research is required even in education and even in profession, and at any stage in your life. And therefore, make sure that this triangle is getting completed. You're not limited to assimilation and dissemination, but also you are on the generation of new knowledge. And when you generate new knowledge, the cycle of education will be complete, and you will become a leader. Or you will, if not leader, you will be called as a developed, because you have your own thoughts and processes. And here, last line, if you see, I said that we live in the age called data. Data is very important, valuable. Even today, there is an announcement by Minister of Information Communication Technology on these things on social media and all. Data leads to information, which leads to intelligence or wisdom. Slight difference. Wisdom may be a little bit more futuristic. Intelligence may be in any time relevance. And then comes the if that leads to relevance and applications, it becomes a useful information or intelligence. And after all, when the application is made, if it becomes impactful, then it changes the society, and it brings the value, it brings the money, it saves the time, it brings the efficiency, and so on and so forth. And therefore, it's very important. So these are the changes which are going to be required and which are going to be important for what we call a developed India. Next slide, please. Here I'm going to talk on two slides on NEP. Next one, please. I'm making some general comments. I'll let you read these comments. I don't necessarily to explain. I'm sure you are aware of what NEP is that. I would like to emphasize here on the last two or three points, which have last two bullets and the end point. Last bullet says that the existing feature of education or NEP are focusing on access, equity, quality, accountability, and transparency, which are continuation, which are improvements, and which are absolutely essential. And NEP documents talks about them, which are very good in my opinion. But what, in my opinion, are missing as far as NEP is concerned are the aspects which I put in the red in the last bullet, called speed and efficiency and academic diversity. To some extent, academic diversity is covered, but to large extent, speed and efficiency is missing. If we really want to see a developed India by 2047, I think we'll have to act with speed and act with efficiency. I sometimes feel, I may be wrong, my assessment may be wrong, but I sometimes feel that we have many good thoughts, processes, and all that. We take two steps forward, but then we go back 1.5 steps. And then, therefore, our speed and efficiency gets impacted by that. For whatever reasons, the legalities, the openness, the transparencies, whatever other reasons, or non-clarity, we do not do it with speed and efficiency. So I think as far as NEP is concerned, we should add these elements and then move forward. That will be important. Now here I'd like to make one point. In the following slides from now, which may be around 40 odd slides, you will see some points underlined by me. Remain on the last slide. Yeah, some points by me, and these are the points which I want to emphasize as far as I'm concerned, in terms of strategy, or in terms of its effectiveness, or in terms of its impact. So speed, efficiency, and diversity is important, and so is the student centricity. For God's sake, we should teach them what we want to learn, rather than we teach them what we know and we want to teach them. I think there should be a difference. We cannot feed our kids with whatever food we want all the time, or in most cases. So is the case. This is a food, and therefore one should be very cautious about that, that student centricity should be maintained. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is the second and last slide. P. And once again, here, I would say that there are many important things like ABC, multi-entry exit, open distance things, or maybe internationalization, industry connect, and 3 4 year programs. But for me, multidisciplinary approach would be very important, because cross connections of the domains, the new knowledge is getting generated. What happens in engineering or social sciences will be equally applicable to the medical sciences. And therefore it's very essential that we understand all these aspects, and then only we go ahead. And therefore you can see that multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, intradisciplinary, transdisciplinary, all these approaches should be understood and followed. One should not confine ourselves to a limited scope. And if you want to be progressive, it should be like that. In most cases, you are seeing, whether it is a Nobel Prize or whether it is a big new tech, people from all walks of life contribute to that, and then only the technology becomes very successful, or anything else becomes very successful. Therefore, to be on the path of development, I think multidisciplinary approach in general can be very important. And overall terms, flexibility should be the key. That while I'm in a social science domain, I have developed interest in computing or vice versa, I should follow that. I should not be restrained that I'm a computer science guy, cannot do something in psychology or social sciences or whatever. Those restrictions should be removed. Go to next one, please. Yeah. So here I'm just giving one slide on the future of educational world. And future of educational world is going to be very different and diverse. And here, if you see something in the middle, the teaching learnings can happen through flipped classrooms or mixed mode of teaching, blended learning, we call it, or flexibility, going beyond syllabus, moving fast and slow, doing group activities, and then acts and films and dramas, and then write-ups and self-learning projects, seminars, and then through internet, through animations, AR, VR, you already know, augmented and virtual reality, mixed reality is also commonly used term these days, web-based, direct to home, various things are there through which the education would be delivered and would be received and can be assessed also. Ultimately, it will lead to what you call make your own degrees the way you like it for rest of the things in your life. Also offer dual degrees, major, minor specializations, integrated programs, and so on and so forth, so that people can easily do research and get new knowledge developed. And then, of course, we need to push for higher degree of multidisciplinarity and interdisciplinarity. But if you see an orange line, which I have underlined here, happens to be the choice-based credit system, which was launched long time back, but we have not done it fully in terms of implementation. But I'll take it to an extent ahead by saying it should also form what you call an ideal kind of an approach, which is interdisciplinary, experiential, and active learning. That's what we call it as an ideal thing. So make sure that interdisciplinarity and experiential and involved active learning is there. And that's how you will put the education as a catalyst for the growth. Next slide, please. So you know that education can broadly be broken into two aspects. Number one called academics, and number two called research. So I have few slides on academics and few slides on research, through which I'm going to say that how education can be played with and what can be done. So next slide, please. Yeah. So education has to be disciplinary, which I have emphasized in last couple of things. And why I'm saying that, I may be a graduate, I may be an engineer, I may be a doctor, I may still have to deal with elements of social, political, technical, geographical, financial, relational, managerial, and functional world as I grow, as I progress, as I expand my horizons, and so on and so forth. And then, therefore, one should not confine that I'm an engineer or I'm just a chartered accountant, and therefore I'll do only that. That is something absolutely not required. And therefore, if you come to the fourth bullet, you'll probably see that I'm saying that elements of languages, social sciences, drama, music, drawing, sports, ethics, morality, positive health, living, artificial intelligence should be taught to everyone depending upon their interest, and they can be very useful in their life. And that is how you can say that you can excite the young minds to do better things. They can be more imaginative, they can be thinking differently based on their experiences and background and so on and so forth. And ultimately, you'll possibly see that we all need to be multitasking, multi-processing, and multifunctioning kind of people. In most cases, when you see the leaders in any domain, you'll probably find out that these are the attributes they should have. And once these attributes are obtained by a student through education, that they can do that multitasking, I'm pretty sure that they can help the nation or help the company or help the society to grow and do better. Next slide, please. So I'm just giving you a sort of convincing examples of a multidisciplinary world, if you can say so. The best example I can give you is of the Nobel laureate of Indian origin, Dr. Venki Ramakrishnan, quite famous, very well known. He sometimes come to India and lectures also. And he has had a background of what you call biology and physics and biochemistry and chemistry, and he has done probably double PhD and double undergrad and so on and so forth in different disciplines. And yet he has got a Nobel of Chemistry. That speaks volumes about background, that different backgrounds can help doing different things. Our own J.C. Bose, Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose, was a highly multidisciplinary domain expert, whether he was working in communication, electronic communication, or plants and biology, and so many other things which he did from time to time. So these are some of the big examples from Indian origin which we can talk about multi. I've known one professor who was a graduate of civil engineering, but I started teaching mechanical engineering and later became a teacher for electronics engineering and finally became the super duper expert for mobile communications 20 years back when it came. So that is how people change and they can do multidisciplinary thing. A journalism graduate or an expert will have to do many things in addition to his language skills or communication, and then technological skills because multimedia is required. Then some of the legal studies, they need to cover certain aspects and whatnot. And therefore, at a student level, you need a lot of multidisciplinarity in journalism. If you take at product level, mobile is one of the most complicated multidisciplinary example of what comes together. Many of you think it is an electronic device. I'm an electronics engineer, so I thought so, but it's not necessarily like that. Battery and software and applications and displays are not necessarily electronic elements completely, and therefore it's made up of multidisciplinary world. At industry level, you'll see almost all these top industries which are doing well do multiple things, not just one singular thing where they have become expert. And industry leaders, obviously Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Sesha Sai, all these examples are enough to tell you. Mr. Sesha Sai was the chief of Ashok Leyland, and he is a commerce graduate. He was a tremendous mobile, and so is the case with Steve Jobs with various things and so on and so forth. Yes, please, next slide. So, because our expectations are going to change, our requirements are going to change, outcomes are going to be different. So, learning processes, I'm not emphasizing teaching process. necessarily teaching and learning go together, but learning will have the lion's share rather than the teaching. The learner will have to be much more active, much more demanding, much more expecting and experimenting much more. Therefore, I'm saying learning processes. So aspects of learning will require many things called generating ideas, brainstorming, some concept and mind mapping, and so on and so forth. And similarly, the learnings can become better through flipped classrooms, project-based activities, virtual labs, and whatnot. And then obviously, as I'm emphasizing here, as you can possibly see, that the two important things will be for learning will be cooperative learning strategies in team. With different backgrounds, with the similar background but different abilities or interests, or whatever you can say. So cooperative learning strategies will be important, and they can raise the bar of Indian higher education very, very significantly. And in the international education in the Western world, they do a lot of such things, and therefore their standard or their outcomes are better. In the same fashion, use of AI will be very important in learning processes because it can hasten up. It can speed up the learning process significantly, in my opinion, and it can also make it more reliable, maybe possibly repeatable, but then it can reduce the time in a certain sense, and it can also allow you to dig deeper into certain things rather more easily. So there are various things for learning processes which will make the education delivery or a strategy for education delivery more effective, is what I'd like to say. Come to the next slide, please. So when it comes to teaching learning, as I was trying to say, there are various things which are there, but I'm emphasizing the first 2 points here on the top. Number one is the classes. The classes should be flipped classes, as many as possible. A student will have to come prepared for the flipped classes, otherwise the flipped classes will not have meaning. Otherwise, right now what is happening is students come unprepared and they don't know what teacher is talking about, and sometimes not everything is received very well or questioned very well, and so on and so forth. Same thing happens with the laboratories. With virtual laboratories, you can do singular experiments with preparedness, with reliability, with repeatability, and without any danger of damaging the whole thing. But it can be a completely hardware based. It's not a simulation or software, I'm saying completely hardware. So use these effectively, and your teaching learning will become better. And of course, you'll use hackathons, self studies, internships, industrial visits, and projects, something like that, also to improve the teaching learning. Next one, please. Yeah. So when it comes to a student, if I were a student, what should be offered to me, or what should be expected by me, possibly could be covered in this slide, that I should be allowed to take new generational courses. Many of them are not interested because they are stereotyped, repeated courses. The physics or the maths or some of the basic fundamental courses keep repeating from 9 to certain levels, depending upon the course which is there. And therefore, new generational courses can excite them, do different things. Very important. In the same fashion, end semester, the last semester should be purely on entrepreneurship, or maybe on internship. I've just written here entrepreneurship if they want to experiment with something new idea, but it can be on internships also, which are there. But on top of that, students should also be promoted for a students abroad program. That means they go out for 1 semester and read or study some courses from good institutions, or where their courses of their interest are there. We should also allow the open book examinations for students, because life is open book. And similarly, we should allow the teaching learning from MOOCs, online, virtual modes, or regular classroom modes also. And then we should have their representation and talk to them regularly through open houses and feedback, and the representation in faculty boards and things like that. And that is how you can excite them into a different orbit. And once they are excited, their contributions are going to be very, very obvious, in my opinion. Next slide, please. So we have talked enough about the academics or the teaching learning. I come to the research and innovation. So academics and research and innovation put together will make what we call education. So there is a major change which we are required to do in the research domain. I'm sure some of you are from the old universities, and you'll possibly find that this difference which I'm highlighting here is rather important, that in their acts and statutes, if you see, they have academic council, but they don't have research councils or research bodies. And even if they have been made, they don't have the statutory powers. And therefore, we should try to make sure that we have research councils like academic councils to promote research which is there. So research and development should become research and innovation and entrepreneurship and whatnot. Fundamentals are fine, but there should be equally application level education should be there. Research should not only happen at PhD level, but at all levels, UG, PG, PhD, and so on and so forth. There should be a government funding, which is mostly happening in India, but there should be participation from industries, should be essential. There should be publications, but now we require publications with impact, whether they are making any change in the society or the life, or maybe strategy, or maybe achieving some development. I think that is the impact which is there. And then if patents are there, patents are fine, but patents commercializable, or are we doing technology transfer from them? I think that will be important. So these are the major changes which should education, and which will lead us to a slightly better outcome. And these are, by the way, some of the things which are seen in US or the Western world rather more commonly. Fine. So yeah, next slide, madam. Yes. So when we talk about research, there are many things. Of course, one can keep talking about research for hours or days together. I would not do so right now, though my current domain happens to be promoting research more else. So we should make sure that we know the research measurements and research indices, whether the research is good or not, quality or not, impacting or not, connecting or not. I think are the elements which I'm highlighting here. So are we getting cited? Are we publishing in Q1, Q2? Are we getting included in some important database, which may be Scopus, Web of Sciences, UGC Care, etc.? So here the importance is that we should participate or contribute to nationally driven projects, and that's how the Viksit Bharat will happen, because someone will have to take the lead and someone will have to do small bits. And we these days we know that CERN like examples where multiple countries come together. Here in India, we can multiple institutions or industries can come together and drive some nationally important projects which are there. Obviously, the project should be such that they are translated to product and processes, and then the patent should be such that they are commercialized and technology transferred. But while doing all that research, you will have to emphasize on one aspect, that how is it going to impact the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals? If you don't keep that in mind, the chances are that your research will become obsolete very soon if it is not taking care of SDG. So make sure that you do that. So that's important. I've highlighted that also. Also, make contributions which help making good policies. How to deal with the water shortage or water purification or water conservation. If your research is on that, I think you will make a good research contribution, and then a government will make policies around that, and that's how you will make the impact or a strategy which can be developmental. So in the same fashion, there can be many indices which are there: H index, I10 index, I5, and so many names I have given here. But the one which I have highlighted is the last one, FWCI, Field Weighted Citation Index. Many advanced countries and advanced institutions are following. It's a one which has less bias. No index is fully avoiding the biases, but this is a less bias, I would say, and its global average is one. We can compare ourselves with most advanced countries, most advanced topics. It is normalized in a certain way. It is not like will keep growing with time. It can keep going down also with time. And therefore, this is important. So what we assess for ourselves should be very well known and understood by us. And then only we can make progress. And that's why I'm making a highlight here. To grow, you should have right barometers, right indices, right measurement tricks or tools, and then only you can improve upon certain aspects. Next slide, please. Yeah. So what are the challenges currently the research is facing? I think we should try to overcome some of them. You probably know. And by the way, India is facing a lot of challenges in this domain that our quality is suffering, unfortunately. Plagiarism portion is pretty high. Last year, I'm told something around 10,000 research papers were retracted. That's a very huge number, and it's a concerning number. And so plagiarism, fabrication of data and results, poor quality of peer reviewing. Also, the challenges are in terms of huge growth of journals, pressure of publishing. Many of us make it mandatory that you will not get a degree unless you publish. So they somehow do something, and in the process compromise on many things, publish in poor quality journals also, and all that which is that done. Conferences are pretty large number. Conferences are good, but too many again is too bad, I would say. A lot of people do self citations and hardly any interaction between groups, particularly in India. I have not seen much. And therefore, these are all these things which lead to the issues of quality and integrity. Sometimes we reinvent the wheel. And then, of course, we have other challenges in terms of industry not funding adequately. We are doing a study right now where we are going to point out to industry that their contributions towards research are pretty low, at least in Indian context. Then, of course, sometimes the pressures of timelines and all that. And then we don't accept failure. The moment you do research, you may be you may face a failure, because research is sometimes sitting in dark, doing something new and different, and you may not be successful in your first few attempts, and therefore you get cursed for that. And because of that, people try to hide the failures, and society also doesn't accept you. I think we change that notion, and we should improve our acceptability for failure also. And then, of course, less training to the people who come into research. They think only doing PhD is research. I think that's a very wrong notion. That is only the starting point of the research. Once you do PhD, you are at a ground zero to do research on your own, and after that the real research starts happening. So that's the challenge which we face in research. So let's go to the next slide on research. Yeah, so the research is basically driven by faculty. Of course, the students carry it out. I already talked about the students, what a student should do. At every level, they should do the research. But when it comes to faculty, faculty should also do research and drive the research. And one of the challenges which faculty faces is they lack practical knowledge or utility or application of the knowledge. That is a general curse for faculty. So what we can do for faculty is we can have programs like faculty abroad program. International faculty can be called and also deputed to other countries from our side. Then we can have purely dedicated research faculty. Some people have good mindset for research, but they may not be very able teachers, and vice versa. So we can be having horses for courses. We can have professors of practice, which UGC started a couple of years back, and adjunct and visiting in expert and guest faculty. But very important from my side, the underlined ones is the faculty industry immersion program, FIIP, I call it. Every year, every 2 or 3 years, faculty should be sent for 10 to 15 days to a select industry chosen by him or her, where they go and spend time and learn about what industry does, how it is going to be useful to connect with them, what new learnings we can bring from them, what problems we can solve for them, what common projects we can do, what tools and facilities and instrumentations we can share, and so on. So all these things. It's a beautiful scheme where faculty gets an additional or honorarium for visiting the industry, and industry doesn't have to pay. I think that can be a good strategy for good quality internships as well as good quality projects and seeding research and industrial funding and so on and so forth. Similarly, joint appointment with industry. There are a lot of people in industry who wants to teach, and there are a lot of people in education who would like to do some industrial things because their mind is very innovative and constantly thinking. These are not allowed. So we should somehow allow a joint appointment that within a week I spend 3 days for teaching and 3 days for industry related things. And I think with that I can do wonders, and cross connections or matching can be pretty high. So that can be a good strategy for what you call the industry benefit, getting benefits out of education. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is about the research itself, this slide. And as I already said, the research slide, we should have the University Research Council. We should have the awards and rewards for good quality research. We should allow full use of external funding. Sometimes institutions take 20, 30, 40% of the money towards institutional charges. That's not a very good practice, I would say. There should be liberal seed grants from internal institutional funding itself. That can be a very good thing for research seeding. And support for patenting, innovation, entrepreneurship should happen. For example, for good quality patenting, the patent attorney can come once in a while, once in 10 days, 15 days, or a month to an institution and discuss with all the faculty whatever they would like to discuss. And based on that, they can thresh the ideas which are worth for furthering or which are not worth furthering. Because otherwise, for a faculty to go and line up in a attorney's office can be pretty difficult, and therefore that should be avoided. And obviously there can be the research institutions or of excellence for research, but generally it should be between cluster of institutions, 3 4 universities, 5 10 universities come together and develop different areas rather than repeating the facilities and doing the same thing. So that can be a good strategy for research to be well seeded, well funded, and being more efficient, in my opinion. Next slide, please. Yeah. So for research, one more thing which is important is collaboration, teamwork is somehow extremely lacking in Indian context. I fail to find out any good teams from educational institutions which have done wonders or good ideas or seeding ideas or productizing something or whatever. Those are not there. As individuals, we are good, but as team, we are not good generally. And therefore, the collaboration and cooperation should be pushed very, very hard, in my opinion. It cuts down the cost, can make the work more robust, can be useful when at one point some chips are down or at some center something is not working, the other ones can do something. And these can also lead to fast tracking the work, which is again the speed. I was saying speed and efficiency are very important. It will bring the speed which is there, and ultimately it is equally important for helping the continuity, developing consultative processes, and removing any roadblocks which are there. And finally, we know that the collaboration yields better recognition. Almost all Nobel Prizes in physics, chemistry these days are found to be in the domain where 3 4 different people have worked in the similar domain, maybe together, may not be together, but nowadays many teams are also getting it. So that's the power of collaboration which is there. And I'm going to satisfy you with this logic in the next slide. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, this slide, if you can see it, this is based on some tools which we have at Elsevier, which is Scopus and Cyvel based, and we do a lot of analysis of research world over, institutional level, state level, or departmental level, or world level, or whatever. Here we something about Indian research collaborations, and you'll possibly find that the Indian research collaborations are fairly less in general. But if you see international collaborations, you'll possibly see are around 21%. If you see only national collaborations, around 29 30%. Only institutional collaborations, 43%. But when you see the right hand side circle, the highest impact is made when the international collaborations are there. Second highest when national collaborations are there. Third highest when the institutional collaborations are there, and the least impact when there is no collaboration. So that is the power of collaboration, which you are able to see here. And once again, at the bottom, I'm showing with which countries we are trying to partner most. So it's very obvious that we are partnering a lot with US and UK, and other countries are also listed here. And on the right hand side top, we are trying to name some of the agencies which help in these collaborations and partnerships. So ultimately we can do, as I said, measurements of what we are able to do and not able to do is very essential. So we are able to see all those things here very nicely. And with that, you can possibly say that the collaborations can be very good things for research or research development. Next slide. Yeah, here you can see that collaborations, again, the Indian collaborations, that how some collaborations work. And I'm showing something outcomes in terms of United States or Saudi Arabia or United Kingdom. But two red are there with Spain and Brazil. The impact is the most because we might have been more focused. We will not do a collaboration with Brazil because we are far apart. But when we do, we are serious and we make sure that we work on the same projects and so on and so forth, and therefore our impact is very high in Spain and Brazil. So some of these studies can be done by us to make sure that we are doing right kind of a research and right kind of partnership and right kind of a funding. That's an important strategy for going forward and making best use of money which we are spending. Next slide, please. Again, the use of these tools, and here we analyze the world, some of the top countries of the world, that who are doing more collaborations, who are doing not so many collaborations. And as you can see in this slide, shown you that India, China, and Russia are not doing many collaborations. They are hovering around 20%. But most of the advanced countries are possibly doing around 40, 50%, including South Africa and Australia, and these days Middle East also, New Zealand being the highest. And therefore, here you can study that if Netherlands is good or US is good or someone else is good, are they doing more collaborations or less? Based on that, you can develop your strategy. Next one, please. So with that, the research part and research evaluation and research strategy, you can always decide. It's not one size fits all that I can give a prescription that India should do this. No, within different states can do different institutions can do different departments can do different things, and then different faculties can also do different things. I come to maybe my last important segment of technology. Because of time, I'll not be able to do much. So technology is the most important aspect in our life these days, and that will be use of technology will be most important. Next slide, please. Here you say that technology, the question you can ask yourself, or I'll ask you, is that is technology driving our future? My answer is a big yes. And if you see, whether from steam engine to motive power, industrialization, flying machines, nuclear technology, communication, world has changed because of each one of them. And and if you see the middle one, the semiconductors, computers, internet, mobiles, solar energy, electrical vehicles, biotechnology, artificial, is changing the world furthermore, rather more fast and strongly. And therefore technology is going to change you whether you like it or not. You are forced, and therefore it's good to be friendly with technology. Define the boundaries where we are going to use it, how you are going to use it, and therefore technology will be an important strategy. Use of technology will be an important strategy for the education and for Viksit Bharat, because it also has a potential to change our physical, social, political, financial, relational, and functional aspects of India, or maybe for that matter, the entire world. But it's not changing the education much. So we'll see what can be done in the education in next few slides. Next one, please. So one thing which we want is the science, technology, or engineering, or medicine, or management, or mathematics related education should be delivered and should be used because it helps problem solving, much more critical thinking, helps innovation, fabrication, manufacturing, testing, certification, standardization. Various aspects with STEM education are good. My recommendation here, if I'm allowed to say so, It also develops good logic. It also develops good thinking processes and all that. And therefore, at elementary level, school level, some sort of it should be compulsory. And then later in later parts, some things can be liberalized and people can go in different direction. But some sort of a STEM should be very, very essential till 12th standard. And similarly, STEM can also help you with AR, VR, and it can also help you with the solving the real world problem. It can be a mirror to our existence. If technology is not there, we'll not learn much, we'll not know much what is right and wrong. And therefore, STEM education brings the technology, and it's also delivers the useful products from the industry. So these are important aspects, and therefore the technology should be something which should be pushed very hard. Next slide, please. Yeah. So these are some of the defining examples of STEM. If you can see that today, if you are watching a IPL match or cricket match or football World Cup, 50 million people can see it with their own languages and translations and their own timings and delays and whatnot. And therefore, that's the power of technology. An event happening in a localized area in some place in US or India can be seen by the world. That's the power of technology. It's exploring space, going to moon or Mars or whatever, those things can also be a technology things. Global positioning system, that today you know everything everywhere where you are going, who is there, whatever, all those things are based on GPS. But India has developed its own Navik, which is much more accurate than currently the GPS which we are using. So that's the power of STEM. Similarly, STEM has made the whole world as a global village, because there is a instant communication, connectivity, live transmissions, various things, hardly any cost, hardly any delays or latency. And then of course common platforms and formats which are there, which helps you. I'm also getting connected to you through this kind of a mode only, and that's the power of STEM. And therefore focus on STEM should be there. I'll request some of you to study how the growth of any particular country or a region or maybe a continent or whatever is linked to the changes which STEM has brought in them, and you'll probably see the power of STEM. Yes, I understand the commerce will be important, the social things will be important, the language, but when it comes to the major progress or the changes, STEM has been much more impactful than anything else, is my opinion. Next one. So here, these are some of the new technologies which we are trying to use right now. And these are already part of our educational process: a smart classroom, 3D printing, 5G technologies, all these, you can say all your servers, etc. And all those things are there. Social networking, biometric eye tracking was used for examinations during COVID and currently being used. We also tend to use text to speech and vice versa. So those are fine. Those are very, very big boon to people with different abilities and so on and so forth. And therefore, we should continue to use these new technologies, in my opinion. Let's go to the next slide. I'll talk about the futuristic new technologies. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are some new technologies which are yet to come, in my opinion. I'm making a statement. Which you see in terms of biometric eye tracking and all that, these are not sufficient. These are just petty ends in terms of use of AI. There will be much more bigger use of AI in terms of your facial gestures analysis, and maybe your handwriting analysis, and maybe your thought analysis. Maybe it can give you a feedback directly whether you're in right mindset or not, and therefore AI will be a very powerful tool in come. There can be game-based learning, there can be wearable devices, there can be augmented in VR, and all those things will be there. But two important things for me will be holographic presence. Currently, you're seeing me in two-dimensional things and in a picture mode, but in a holographic presence, I'll probably appear before you in a physical mode, but done electronically or done through whatever technology, and that's the holographic presence. That will change the world. You'll have to travel less. You can attend meetings sitting in your home and deliver lectures and attend classes, whatever. And similarly, flexible display can be a very important thing. One single device, which can be your textbook, which can be your library, which can be your laboratory book, which can be your examination book, which can be your homework, which can be your sitting stool, which can be your internet connectivity, and so on and so forth. So it will be one electronic device which will be foldable, completely powered, completely connected, and all that. And you can do anything with that. You don't have to carry big bags. So these are some of the new technologies which will change the educational landscape, and we should try to embark on them as soon as we can. Next one, please. And here comes the AI, which I was trying to say to you. The general applications of AI are listed on the right hand side. Some of the challenges which you'll face because of AI are also listed here and there. But then what you can do in teaching learning are basically listed here, that in education space, it can improve teaching learning, research innovation, personalization of education, the flexibility which I was saying, language and translations and skills can be delivered, AR, VR, MR can be done. Virtual laboratory, I was emphasizing, can be done by the AI. Examinations can be done very effectively, analyzing assessments and all that without any biases. Online proctoring can be done. But very important for me will be the counseling and career guidance, which is currently lacking. Most of the people do not get enough support to know what they need to do, how they need to do. And therefore, AI can be a very big tool. I cannot explain much about it right now, but this is going to be the use of AI in day-to-day life, and it will be an integral part. AI for me, like 100 years back, the machines and the hydraulics were the support to the human manpower. In the same fashion, AI currently today will be the support to the human mental power, the thinking power, you can say, or the mind power. And that's why it's going to be integrated into your life very effectively very soon. Next slide, please. Yeah. So here there is a study which was done by Elsevier, the company for which I work. So what are the benefits AI can bring? And it says that it can bring the knowledge discovery, research, and all that very, very nicely. It can rapidly help to find out health related things and whatnot. Everything can be done, but it also has a concern regarding misinformation or errors, or you or a human being losing thinking skills, and maybe it can cause a little bit of disruption. Any technology causes disruption, can cause disruption also. Next slide, please. Yeah, this slide says that in in general, when a big survey was conducted by our company, we found that 96% of the people knew what AI is or heard about AI. Out of that, 54% people had used it, something like 31% for office work, and something for 23% for household or general work, which are there. So 46% didn't use it. When they were asked that when they would like to use it, two-thirds of them said that yes, we are going to use it pretty soon. But that one-third probably was not very sure on that. So in India, typically you can say that India is figuring somewhere in between, that 76% of those people who had not used the AI were ready to say that we are going to use the AI very, very soon. So that's a figure just to tell you that AI is going to be a big strategy, and AI should be embedded in every education, like we did environmental education compulsory in higher education space. We did languages compulsory. I think AI should be made compulsory in the education space very soon. So that's my take on some technology, and particularly on AI. Next slide, please. Internationalization, I'm not going to discuss much. It is more on openness or the diversity. Go to the next slide. So it basically says that the internationalization is important because we are going to be now a globalized world or globalized village, and all our workforce will have to deal with the global things, not necessarily what is serving India. If India has to be a developed India, it has to serve many other people where there might be some needs, and therefore internationalization is important because of that aspect. And then, of course, we have to use the innovations done outside or within India on a reciprocal basis. That what is happening here should be used outside, and vice versa. That's the last point I'm trying to make. So transfer of technologies and innovation should be reciprocal, and that's how internationalization will be important. Next one. Yeah, and these are some of the potentials in which the education can benefit, or internationalization can be brought into education. There are many schemes like short-term programs and foreign degrees and 3+1 and 2+2 model. For me, the most effective models will be one semester exchange program. Not more is required, because with that you gain the experience and the culture, and make the connections. So one semester exchange program, abroad program, whatever. And the second is the joint PhD, where the research which you do can be cost effective, can be applied throughout the world, and so on and so forth. So a lot of IITs and big top institutions of the countries are favoring these kind of policies right now, and therefore internationalization can be fructified or can be improved through these kind of techniques. Next one, please. Institute interaction. Next slide, please. This is an important aspect, and you probably know that the Prime Minister's industry internship scheme was announced very recently. So it's something very, very important that industry should benefit from education, and education should benefit from industry. And therefore, I'm not going to explain much. The way it is currently happening is mostly student internship. I'm emphasizing the faculty internships also should happen, and that's the real point forward for industry institute interaction, because a faculty makes a permanent bridge, a student makes a bridge, but that may not be permanent. Next slide, please. And these are some of the points of bilateral interest, that why industry should meet the academics, and academics should meet industry. So we can collectively do designs and innovations and patents and productization, and we can also help each other with the manpower requirements and manpower expertise, and there are many other benefits which are there. So because of time, I'm not going to explain some of the points here, my dear friends. Let's go to the next slide. SDGs are very, very important, and honestly, I don't have to overemphasize. I just put this slide. Next slide will tell you a little bit more. Go to next slide. Here we are trying to tell you that we have done, based on our data and study, which is available to us, that India is doing, how India is doing in SDGs. This is probably something up till around 2022-23 data, not the latest 24 data. So India is doing fairly good. Our output wise, we are very good in health sector and energy sector. We are doing a lot of publications, SDG 3 and SDG 7. But when it comes to impact, where our contribution is more impactful, we are doing in SDG 9, 13, and 12, which are basically climate action and innovation. And so you have to constantly study that what you need to do, how to correct it, how to improve it, where to put more money, where to put more effort, where to do nationally coordinated projects, and so on and so forth. And that's how you can improve upon the aspect of SDG. As I said, for everything which you do in your life today, SDG will become an important thing. Next slide, please. And here we are able to see that how is India performing relative to global standards in terms of SDG. And this is an eye diagram. The more open the eye diagram, the better the eye diagram. But here we are possibly seeing that we are very poor in one of the SDGs called SDG 16, which is on peace, justice, and maybe something of that nature. And we should improve. This is the least in terms of our performance in relative terms. So once again, India should make, our educational institution should develop strategies so that we go up into that. There are few other things, but there are few other things where we are good. We are doing very good when it comes to zero hunger. India is able to feed today its own population and also population outside India. So these are all getting reflected here, as you can see, by doing some tools and measurements and analysis. And that should be a constant endeavor. Whatever you can measure, you can improve, not otherwise, in my opinion. Next slide. So for education, we are developing in a framework which we call AEF, Educational Evaluation Framework. We are divided into 5 major parts and subdivided into more parts, which are totaling to something like 31 parts in all, which may be in terms of education, which may be in terms of research or knowledge generation, outcomes, impact, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to explain. This is work in progress, but we should be able to analyze our work is very, very important in my opinion, because otherwise we will not know. It's something like that. I'm driving a car on a highway, but if I don't know how much is fuel left or how much is the speed or efficiency or directioning, the chances are that my journey will not be very comfortable. Somewhere I'll have challenge. So here we are embarking on a big journey of educational transformations and evaluations and standardizing it. In that case, in my opinion, we should have all these barometers available to us of evaluation, and then only we can improve upon that. Next slide. Yeah, here we are also trying to assess or analyze certain gaps in terms of what we need to do and what we are not able to do. The top left upper corner with the shaded area shows that there is a gap between our priority and preparedness. Means we want to do it, but we are not prepared. AI is one such example. Research investment is another example. Attracting talent is one example. So there are 11 major elements which world has studied and where we find that we are not good enough right now in terms of our own expectations, because we want it but it's not happening. So these kind of things are required for us to invest right time, effort, and money, and make teams and projects for that. Next slide, please. Ultimately, we should know where we are making impact or not. As I said, the ultimate thing in everything which we do is going to be an impact. If you see my first 2 slides, you probably see that, you saw that. So demonstrating societal, economic, environmental impact is a high priority, and different parts of the world have shown whether they are good at it or not. I can share these reports if someone is more deeply interested to understand what is said here. And then same thing about the public awareness and so on and so forth, which is there. And same thing about in terms of whether we are relatively well prepared or not, is what we are trying to tell in terms of outcomes and impacts which are there. So with that, I come to the conclusion. Go to the last slide, please. Conclusion is very, very simple. I think every slide, by underlining some points or highlighting some points, I was trying to focus on that. But some of the best practices for education institutions could be setting up a strategic path of your own. Don't copy, don't paste, don't follow, don't do it for UGC, don't do it for sake of NAC or accreditation. Do it because you want to do it. Creating impact functions within the institution. Choose areas where you want to make an impact, what your society needs most. And by the way, some of the international agencies are doing that. They don't want to go international fully. They want to impact their local region, and they've decided. Partnerships with community and local government are important. Don't remain aloof. Don't say that we don't want to go to government and something else. You have to go to everyone, and everyone has to come to you, vice versa. There should be a reciprocal relationship. Collaboration and alliances with universities and industries are essential. In my opinion, that's going to be your connect with the society. Focus educatively on developing new knowledge, research, and innovation at all levels. In whatever you do, please promote that and support that, and use new technologies wherever you can, almost in all aspects of your functioning, and train manpower in those areas. Once they are trained, they tend to use it. Otherwise, they have the fear and they don't use it. And with that, we become a laggard. We don't want to be laggard. Our strategy should be that we should be forward looking, and we should be catching up with everything which is happening in the world. And then ultimately, we should be leading the changes in the world, which we did for 17 and a half centuries. But for some reason, maybe last 2.5 centuries, for whatever reasons, we have lost that niche. We can bring it again by properly strategizing. And that happened at that time also because of Indian lead in education. Nalandas and Takshilas, and even today we can do the turnaround and become a leader once again. So with that, I'd like to conclude. I'm sorry I've taken 5-10 minutes extra. Go to last slide, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you to CESS, and thank you to everyone who was a part of this discourse or interaction. I appreciate your attention and interest. I hope I have been able to make some difference in your thought processes, which will help India go forward and make it Viksit Bharat very soon. I would say even earlier than 2047, as in last few years we are scaling all the heights of economics or growth or ease of business or innovation or unicorns pretty fast. I would expect that the attachment or the label of what you call Viksit Bharat should come much earlier than 2047. With that expectation, I'm closing from my side, but I'm open to your points of views or discussions. Thank you so much.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful insights into how education, we say education has to play a very strategic role in achieving Viksit Bharat, the vision Viksit Bharat. But again, with all the transformation that is happening around with the introduction of National Education Policy 2020, I think first of all we have to focus on all the aspects that you mentioned, all the or the pillars that you mentioned. We have to focus more on it and achieve those things in order to make education as a strategic component to achieve Vision Viksit Bharat. Thank you so much, sir. We have many questions actually from the participants. I think we can take up a few of the questions, sir. Shall we, sir?
Yeah, you can read them, madam, for me.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll do that. There is a question from Mona Lisa. Can you please highlight some cooperative learning strategies?
Yeah, one of the cooperative learning strategy from my side would be, suppose, madam, you are topper of the class and I'm one of the bottommost. When I come to seek some help from you, generally a topper would avoid the bottomer, saying that he's just wasting my time. With that, what happens? A lot of people become disinterested in education. They don't perform well. So we developed a strategy that we will divide class into four parts. First top 25%, second top, third top, and fourth top. And we'll take one student from each group and make them as a group. And then we will then assess them collectively, in the sense that if Madam Dharini is getting assessed today, 30% of her marks will be group marks and 70% of her marks will be her individual marks. In whichever group she is there, she'll make sure that the group also performs well. So we help each other. We learn from each other. We learn expertise. We learn questions. We learn answers. And therefore, the cooperative learning helps the average improvement of the educational performance or interest in the education itself. Right now, what is happening is everyone is only interested in marks. But here, there'll be a lot of people which will be forced to exchange information, not only marks, and make sure that everyone learns, understands, and then gets the marks out of that. Something like that would happen. So that can be a good cooperative learning, which can be there. There can be many other answers within industry, with innovation, with research, whatever. I simply gave you an example of academics, that how simple things in academics can do wonders for you. Another approach can be a regular feedback you take, which is again a group feedback, I would say. At the end of your class, distribute some small slips. Out of one A4 page, you can generate 30 slips very easily. Just cut it into 30 parts and give it to every student and tell every student, hey, what was the best thing done today and what was not so good thing done today. Write it and drop it in my box. You don't have to write their name and roll number. And immediately once that comes to you, you know that what was happening, whether your strategy in terms of teaching some topic was good, whether your examples were good, whether did you make an impact on them or not. And if not, you can improve it. And if you already made it, you don't have to repeat it. There are many examples where cooperative learning. So here a student teacher cooperation is happening. In the earlier one, the student cooperation was happening. I hope that is sufficient to answer this right now.
So, it's a question from Pratima Kandelwal. Leadership plays a very important role in academia. With so many tech-led changes happening around, why still many higher educational institutions are still seen in slow adaptation of such changes?
Look, I've been a long time vice chancellor, 17 years, and of course, I've led many institutions. I can lecture you for 10 hours continuously on leadership, for sure. All right. But I would say that one important aspect of leadership is, which I maybe just touched very cursorily, was that leadership is to get the best out of any person. Every person in your team will have some ability, some interest. Everyone wants to excel, get recognition. You have to dig out what he or she is good at or not good at, and based on that you can assess them, based on that you can assign them, and make sure that you get the best out of that. Leadership should also be on that. If there are failures, you encourage them, support them, guide them, be one amongst them, and try it, and then they will feel encouraged. But if you only curse them, hey, you have failed, you don't know, I'll things of that nature possibly will not encourage them. And therefore leadership is a huge trait. It doesn't come very easily to everyone, and in leadership you need to know many facets. I was an engineer. First time I chancellor in 2006, I knew only my electronics much. But then after that, I had to learn marketing, HR, finance, human relations, constructions, maybe law, legalities, maybe RTI, what not, and then obviously handling team, funding, financing, various things. So yes, we should identify people, give them opportunity to develop leadership skills, send out, send them to institutions where they can learn, give them projects by which they can showcase their prowess, small ones, and based on that they can be brought forward. So leadership is an important thing, and leadership without a team is not a leadership. I already said teams are not good in India, and therefore the leaders are also not necessarily very good in India. We need to do something very big in this space called teams and leadership if India wants to be developed India. That's my take.
Yes. It's a question from Manohar. Considering the present state of the Indian education system and given the diversity in educational needs across different levels of society, is it feasible and how much time it might take to implement these ideas effectively and transform India into a Viksit Bharat?
Uh, Let me tell you, this question is more about the quality of education, and if I've understood, and quality can never be attained. Quality is a constant journey. As you keep progressing, the aspects and the facets of quality, our expectations keep changing. There cannot be a day when you can say, I have attained the quality. The day you say that you attained the quality, you will start sliding down once again. Quality is a journey. So let's not bother about when we will attain it in terms of that quality of education. But let's worry about, can we speeden it up? Can we make it more efficient? If currently, if two steps forward and one and a half steps backward, which I just gave as an example, if you can make it two steps forward and one step backward, let's say next 2 years, that will be good. If you can say that if I'm publishing one journal paper today in research, let's say with my effort and with the funding, can in next 3 years, can I make it 1.25 journal papers or 1.5 journal papers in good quality journals? If I'm publishing in Q2 journals, can I make it in Q1 journals? So you have to see where you are sitting and how much improvement you can bring about. There is nothing absolute here, I would say, in this particular case, which you can say that whether we have attained it or not. Every institution has a current senate or academic council in the world, and every time they're deliberating upon improvement of education. That means it cannot be attained. It's something like a mirage, something like a very long goal, infinity goal, which you are trying to attain. But If you are at a high speed, good speed, and with good stability, chances are that your result will be good. So let's not worry too much about when we will attain it. There are different starting points for different institutions and societies and persons with different abilities, and therefore their end goals will also be different. So let's satisfy them with their end goal rather than that saying that everyone has become a Nobel scientist or a researcher. No, we don't want everyone to be researcher, but there should be an opportunity for research if they want it. Something like that is what I was trying to emphasize in this. So I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty confident that India will attain what it wants to attain. It's just that we are coming on a correct path now. We have all the ingredients coming together. It's now just them to gel together over a certain time, and we will attain those good outcomes and results. That's my expectation.
Sir, it's a question from Jagdish Kumar. Which group do you think needs to be focused more, UG or PG, to achieve this mission in short term, that maybe in 5 to 10 years for it?
I would not divide them into any groups. Education is education. For me, the group will elongate. I said something should be done even in the secondary education. I said that, or school education in one of the examples, that it should be seeded there. And therefore, there can be a good researcher from pure UG doing wonders. If you see information security, a large number of experts are self-acclaimed experts or just only at UG level. Okay, they have not necessarily done PG because that's a practice oriented or hands-on oriented kind of a domain, the information security. Okay, and therefore confining it to UG or PG will not be good. There are many bad PhDs also, and there are many good people without education also doing. I gave you an example of Ashok Sheshasai, the chief of Ashok Leyland. He was only a commerce graduate, but he was tremendous in the automobile sector in terms of designing all our Ashok Leyland products and all that. For lot of it can be by practice, lot of it can be by desire, lot of it can be by experience, lot of it can be by opportunity. Degree may or may not be essential, and certainly don't divide into UG and PG. That's my simple answer.
Sir, Subhashini is requesting whether you can throw some light on SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals.
On, on SDGs, okay.
Yes, SDGs.
This is Swasini madam, this is a very, very broad topic. World in the UN agencies around 2015 decided on 17 sustainable development goals. Around 2017, it became a little bit more clearer or whatever defined. Till around 2019, most of the people in education space didn't know. I'm saying that because I was the president of Association of Indian Universities, and we did one session on SDGs in 2019, and everyone was excited and wanting to know more. I'm saying for vice chancellors. At that time, even vice chancellors didn't know much of what SDGs are. SDGs are 17. Some of them are removal of hunger, removal of poverty. SDG 4 happens to be the SDG for what you call the quality of education, to which we belong to. And by the way, India is not doing very well in SDG also. SDG 4, India is relatively poor. But then there are SDGs which are related to water or life below earth and various other things which are there in terms of environment and ecology and whatnot. Uh, the moment you will hit a Google search on SDG, you will get millions and millions of answers. So you'll have to keep qualifying what SDG you want to know. But one slide which I gave you, which was very colorful slide, lists all those 17 SDGs, madam. This can be shared with Suhasini madam if required, and
Okay.
then madam can understand that. And then there are goals and sub goals within each SDG. And by the way, governments have started measuring some of them and their impact, but the methods are not complete and good. And again, the analysis is not there, but some heuristic answers are there that we are lagging far behind in terms of attainment of SDGs. Those SDGs should have been attained in 15 years. and we are already halfway down the line, and attainments are not even 10% in many cases. So that's the SDG in nutshell. But there are many experts on SDGs. I can only talk much about the SDG number 4, and which I have tried to tell you that what can be done as far as educational improvements are there, or quality in education is there. Yes.
Sir, one last question can we take up, sir?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I'm free. You can
Yeah.
easily go with me up to 6 or whatever. I have no foundations.
What role do higher educational institutions play in driving innovation for Vision 2047?
As the topic itself is
Yes.
saying that the strategic role is or that of achieving 2047 Viksit Bharat level or attainment. And innovations can only bring, innovations also include invention and in general research, can only bring new value. I gave you one slide where I said, is technology important for us? And I said it can change physical, geographical, political, social, financial, relational, and all sorts of world. If you see last 200 years since that major technological inventions which are there, you have seen the power came to the Europe to begin. Initially, India was powerful. Maybe China was also to some extent. Later, it came to Europe. Then it went to possibly so Germany and UK and Portugal became very important. It went to what you call the USA's and Japan. Then it came to what you call the Koreans and others have become very important. Later, the Chinese have become important. Now, India is becoming important. And therefore, what I'm saying is wherever research has gone, wherever technology has gone, India is again improving purely because Indian IT sector did wonderfully well. It restored our prestige, honor, and positioning. After that, our automobile sectors are doing very well. Our chemistry is doing very well. Our materials and other things. Now the biosciences and biotechnologies are also doing very well, and Indians are good in medical also. So we have pockets of excellence. We have to grow them, and where there is a weakness, we have to remove them. I think that is what we should strategize in terms of further improvement and further growth in general, is what I would say. But there are no unique answers which technology we should follow. But once again, in AI, we are not doing so well. Let me tell you, because our AI education is very, very, you can say superficial or shallow right now, and our products and processes are not necessarily very much in the market in that. So we need to make sure that we have a right balance of what you call the technological things. And wherever we are lacking, government or industry or their consortiums should invest in nationally coordinated projects. By the way, we did some of that nature in sensors technology through materials technology. We did something more in now we are doing in quantum technologies. The quantum mission is there, and so on and so forth. So government is doing something, but we can also, if I'm putting my money, I should put in something where it will be yielding better fruits in my assessment, is what I should try. Okay. I hope I have answered this. In case there is a further probe on discussion, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And I don't think so there are any other questions that we can look into. And thank you so much, sir, for sharing such insightful and inspiring perspectives on the role of education that can be used to achieve Vision Viksit Bharat at 2047. So I hope everyone here will take along with them these insights, and these are valuable takeaways to reflect upon actually. Thank you very much, sir, on behalf of CESS and all the participants present here. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us these insights, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much for this opportunity. My regards and wishes for everyone, particularly Professor Sridhar and all those who attended the program today. And do give me feedback, and let the participants feel free to write to me if they would like to ask me any question. Once again, I'll repeat my email address, my personal email address. Sandeep Sancheti is my full name. So that's one word, @gmail.com. This is there in my first slide as well as the last slide. So thank you so much, Madam Tarini. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Wish you
Thank
a
you very
very,
much.
very happy new year to all of you. Wish you a very,
Thank
very
you
happy
so
new
much,
year.
sir. Wish you the same, sir. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Thank you.
evening.
Bye bye.